So let's face it, sometimes running your own business can be very lonely. It can be isolating. You can be trying to figure out what this is all for. What are we even doing this for? What are we struggling for? What are we fighting for? And the purpose of this video is to really help you answer some of those questions. So excuse me as I'm glancing at notes today. I did not memorize anything, so we're just going with some notes. I just want to start this with reminding you that without values, your business will not have a backbone. And of course, you as a leader and a business leader, right? You need to have values. You need to be in alignment with those values. Everything needs to be kind of working together so that you're aligned with your partners as well, so that everything will flow together properly. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Candace Kingston, and I am a leadership and success coach. I work with small business CEOs to help them really transform the way they lead in order to grow their business and make a bigger impact. So thank you for hopping on today. Thank you for joining me for this video. Today, I just want to start with painting a little picture, right? When we think about our goals or where we want to take our business, oftentimes we start with what we don't have. So maybe we're thinking about investing in something, like even if it's like, I need to buy a new printer, or I need to hire a copywriter, or I need to increase my marketing budget, whatever that is that you're sort of looking for, you're trying to add in, and you're not really like, you might even have a plan to start doing those things, but you're not ever really thinking about what you actually value. And so today we're gonna dive into that a little bit, but in the example of what I just gave, this scenario, what I wanted to go on with this scenario is like thinking about things that you want to buy, and one of those things could be having a corner office in a shared workspace, right? So having a really cool place to work out of. I can picture my white desk there. I could have my white chair. Everything would be really cool. I'd have free kombucha or coffee or whatever it is that they offer, and really start to get into this idea of, wow, I'm going to start looking around. I'm going to, tour all of the coolest new workspaces close to downtown, or where I could be close to my office, close to my house. And as you go on this little spiral, you might not be thinking about the actual values. And so somewhere along there, and if we're talking about me, which we're not really, but I'll just use myself as an example, somewhere along there, I'm going to be thinking, hopefully, and reminded about my family and my kids, and remembering that there is a reason why I work from home. That reason is I value time with my family. And so if I had started with that, I probably wouldn't have gone down this whole rabbit hole of living this altar life in a shared workspace, right? So so let's talk about how values are defined. What are values exactly? And to me, I think values can be defined as important behavioral traits and ambitions that can determine your priorities and that you have decided are extremely beneficial to achieving your perfect life, the life you want to create, the life you want to live. And you may be asking, what does this have to do with fourth quarter goals and reaching those goals? But this stuff all takes time. You have to really start to get clear. Get clear on who you are first, get clear on your values. We talked yesterday about what kind of leader you are. Today, talking about your values. There's more things to get clear on for sure, but then we can finally talk about getting clear on your goals and what those might want to be, what you want those goals to be. If you want to skip ahead to that part, feel free to schedule a call with me, but for the rest of you, just stick around. We're going to get into this a little bit deeper. So the trick to deciding on your values is really coming up with what works for you. This is about your values, not someone else's, not what someone told you would be important to have as a value for a leader in a business. This is about you and what's important to you. And I have a little story about that because my 3 boys went to a very strict middle school. And part of that school was the core values that they believed in. There were 8 of them: courage, curiosity, I can probably still list them, respect, integrity, I think tenacity, and a couple more. And the boys had to memorize these and obviously like learn these and learn what they were about and live by these values. And they were plastered all over the commons kind of area of the school. Notebooks, t-shirts, everything had these values. And one day I was talking with my youngest son, Gray, and I was asking him about these values and asking him why they were important and tell me about them and all of that. And he said, yeah, I do think they're important. And I was like, wow, this is so great. I finally succeeded as a parent. My kid thinks the values are important, until he finished his sentence. He said, yeah, I think the values are important, but just for school. Mic drop, right? I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Just for school? What about home? Oh yeah, we don't really need that stuff at home. So needless to say, there was a much deeper conversation that went on later about that. But the point being, those values were not his, okay? He didn't come up with those values. He wasn't the one to write them on the board. He didn't agree that those should be the most important things and the things that would drive their priorities. Now, I'm taking a little bit of liberty with that because, of course, those core values, pretty much you can't argue with those ones. They're all really good. So I'm not trying to give him an excuse for not having those values. But if you work with me on this, you can understand that if you walk into a company and they've laid out what the values are and you're walking in later, you need to think about whether or not you're on board with what that company believes to be important. So this is also where alignment comes in. So living in alignment with your values can help guide everything you do. All of the decision making will come down to your values. And the decision making will get a lot easier once you know what those values are. As soon as somebody asks you to work on a project that you don't believe in, you're just going to say, no, that doesn't fall in line with my values. I don't believe there is respect in that business, or whatever it is and whatever reason it is, but you can kind of rely on those values to keep it straight. And this also can be a guiding force in decisions in your business, like who should I hire? Should I scale my business? What partners and investors to take on? All of those things. Now, this is also not to say that those partners or people you're employing need to have the exact same values that you do or that your business does. However, they need to be in alignment in some shape or form. They need to agree with them. So they might have their set of values and you have your set of values. The business has its own set of values. You just need to make sure everything, you agree with what those are. You can live by those set of values under the business that you would be joining or hiring this person for. So that's something to keep in mind. So really, this is just like getting your tires aligned. I like to think of that because without having your tires in alignment, you're sort of just floundering all over the place, right? Just to wrap this up, I know we talked about a lot. I kind of rambled a little bit and I want to keep these really short, which is why I had the notes, and I don't know, that might just be more distracting than necessary, but we looked at how living without values, while it could be fun, might not get you to where you want to be. So it's good to start with that set of values. We talked about what values are, important behavioral traits and ambitions that can determine your priorities, really keep you on track because you've decided these are beneficial. You've decided this set of values is how I want to live my life. That should be your guideline, your guiding force for everything that you're doing. We talked about how this fits into the bigger picture of setting goals, what that can look like, and how it's important to choose values that fit you and not someone else, but to be true to you and who you aspire to be. And finally, we talked about the importance of alignment with your values, those of your business and those of your potential teammates and partners. So in closing, I want to invite you. I am going to be running at the end of October a 2-week free program that is going to be talking about all of these leadership tools and tactics and how to really put them in place to help you grow your business. So we'll be talking more about goal setting in there, more about all of this stuff, diving in a little bit deeper. So I hope you'll join us. If you're interested, just comment below with I'm in or I'm interested or something like that. Send me a message, whatever works. Also, if you have any questions, I know I spoke really fast. So if you have any questions about this or further comments, I'd love to hear your comments below. Thank you for the comments you left yesterday. I really appreciate it. And I think that's it. I hope I didn't forget anything, but see you soon. Thanks.